Okay. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Alhamdulillahilladzi hadana li hadza wa ma kunna linahtadiya lawla an hadana Allah. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammad abduhu wa rasuluh. Jumu'ah Mubarakah, everyone. And thank you so much for joining our program today. I know it's the end of the week and our mood is probably already a weekend mood, but inshallah, let's just sort of go through some last minute preparations for our semester next week. So again, I would like to thank you on behalf of CPD. I would like to thank everyone for joining this program, and we really hope that you will get a lot of benefits, and at least this session would help you to sort of get you on board with all preparations for next week, inshallah. Okay. So there are two sessions of today. We're going to have a little bit of introductions to iTalim. For those of you who are first time to iTalim, I hope this gives you some kind of idea on how to arrange the contents in iTalim. And then at the second half of the sessions, Alhamdulillah, we have Dr. Hamzah from Kuliah of Science, which have used iTalim extensively, and I'm very happy to see the portfolios in iTalim on how he has arranged the content for his teaching in Kuantan. Okay, to add the barakah to our sessions, let's start with Al-Fatihah. Okay, amin ya rabbal alamin. Okay. Please let me know if any portions of my slides is blocked by the Zoom display. Is it clear?
It's clear.
Clear. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay. Right. So I'm very sure for those of you who have attended the session, the sharing session and introductions to iTalim, I think at the end of January, we also have got similar sessions, and then we have Dr. Azrin from ICT and Dr. Farham from IRKHS who have shared their portfolio. In the beginning of the sessions, I actually gone through the same agenda. Okay, so it becomes the internal our e-learning unit SOP that every e-learning training we would go from the basics and then the applications. One of the reason is it based on the feedback from the lecturers in the survey, the ERTL survey, the RTL survey. A lot of lecturers actually suggested that the basic of iTalim needs to be revised. I mean, like there should be a lot more sessions that discuss about the basic of iTalim, since many of the lecturers have used different platform and now would like to try to use our home-based platform, which is iTalim. So let me just go through this. It will be very quick. I hope we will not go through the details, but at least some of the issues about blended learning will also be covered in this few minutes. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to go through too much about learning, but if I can just share this one slide only on the notions of learning. So ideally, learning is a process that leads to change, which occurs as a result of experience or increase of potentials, improve performance and future learning. So we would want to have a learning that leads to more learning. Okay, so in be that in face-to-face or in online learning should be something that stimulates further learning. So if the students felt that by the end of the semester, what they can remember is just pieces of theories, and then by the end of the exam weeks, basically everything sort of, I'm not sure what's the word, but some of the students said if the following semester we talk about the concept, or that was covered last semester, so as if that the following semester it is fresh new, it is a fresh thing. So this is something that we would want to avoid in learning process. It should be something that actually improve the performance of future learning. And then this is also something that we would want to sort of emulate in online learning, that we can sort of monitor not only the student learning process, but also the product. So all this while we've been focused on the product of learning, which is the exams, the tests, but with online learning, hopefully we can also capture this. And this is the reason why we are promoting the home-based platform, because as much as it is convenient to use Google Classroom and whatnot, and have taken Google Classroom certification myself early 2019. I know how easy it is, how convenient it is. And in fact, the first few months I am in CPD, I'm promoting the use of Google Classroom. But then when I heard a lot of lecturers, especially from CFS, they have used this Untitled extensively, and then I can see how close it is to some of our lecturers, some of our colleagues' teaching experience. So I believe it is actually the right way to actually use the home-based platform, because we can observe not only the product, but also the process. We can actually observe how much time is actually allocated for most of the quizzes, how much time the engagement the students to the platform. We will not be able to have that if we are using the other platform, because we don't have no control towards what happened in the backend. As much as it is quite challenging to take care of home-based platform, but I believe this is the right thing to do. So that's explain some of the questions that I've been receiving all this while. Why bother saving Untitled? That's one of the reasons why we would want to make sure that the whole learning experience actually able to be the whole learning experience should be able not only to be monitored, but also we can learn from it. And we will be able to have that if we are using home platform. And also about the motivations, the students' ideas should be able to know that all the tasks that we actually delegate to them is doable. Okay, so the whole ideas of motivations is that the person should have the subjective value of the goal, so they should actually relate to the value of the goals, and then they should also be able to visualize that they can actually achieve it. That is motivations. And with the online learning, we can have this in the beginning of the semester, which is nice, which is we can make it as meaningful as when it is face-to-face. And especially with the notions of blended learning, okay, with the notions of blended learning, we can actually combine between the synchronous, okay, because I think next semester, the first few weeks, it will still be hybrid mode. So some of the things will need to be carried out in synchronous sessions like what we have now. Some will need to be carried out using some activities online, which is asynchronous. But the notions of blended learning is actually beyond just having face-to-face and synchronous, and asynchronous, but it has to be an active, engaged online learning. So even though you have a lot of synchronous, but if it's only one way, then it is not really what we call as an active, engaged learning online. So maybe we should come up with a better strategy as how we can actually organize the synchronous learning, in which you can actually capture the students' feedback, for example, the students' concern, whereas some of the theories we can actually deliver it through online videos, in which the students can have some preconceived ideas, can clarify if they have any preconceived ideas, or can get at least some ideas about what are the terms that we're going to use in the class. Then during the synchronous sessions, we can engage them into a discussion, into a much more meaningful communications. Okay, so all right. Blended learning has been around in Malaysia for quite some time, because Malaysia has the PAN 1.0. It's Dasar Panduan E-Pembelajaran, which is has been around for quite some time. But again, the performance for different institutions are kind of varied. And then I think this is a very important question that we should know why the government is actually promoting this. Mainly is actually to sort of ensure that the learning process is a much more meaningful learning process, because we actually allow the students to have their own pace in learning. It is a much more personalizations, and you will be able to know why later on, which I'm very sure if you have been using whatever activities that we have in Untitled, you should be able to see that some students probably they actually do the assessment in the morning, because they are morning person. Some actually do it in the afternoon, or some actually do it in the evening. Although we have we open that the whole day, not all students actually accessing on the same time. So in this case, there's notions of personalizations, flexible learning environment, focus on collaborations, and so on. So this is the ideal scenarios. I think the question is whether we have actually implemented this or take benefits from it or not. And the last and the most important thing is actually it's data driven. And I use this data a lot for improving myself, as well as improving how I should arrange the contents in Untitled. Okay. If I can just sort of proceed. Okay. Okay. So there are few feedbacks, which I'm not going to go through it very detailed, but a lot of students are actually, I'm not sure whether I should put it as, I don't think it is a complaint, but the feedback from the students has been on the kind of materials, the amount of the materials being given. Yesterday, Prof. Karim Alias from USM put it very nicely that there's a tendency of the lecturers to put the load as a cognitive overload. Okay, so we actually describing things beyond the scope of the course and things like that. So I think this is a good time to reflect as well on the scope, on the learning of, on the objective of the course, on the learning outcome, just to make sure that we put the right proportions for of the course that needs to be emphasized. Okay, I will also skip this. I can share the slides. I will be more than happy to share the slides later on. But since that we're going to cover the sharing session later on, if I can just go directly to Untitled. Sorry if I skip a lot. Okay. Okay, so this is some of the example of active learning strategies. Okay. And the summer model, I'm very sure you have heard this, the summer model, and then the different kind of activities we can actually implement in this if you opt to use the model. And then let me just go through on how we can actually manage the content in Untitled. As much as I want to go through the technical aspect directly, but I think this is something that is important for us to sort of reflect on how we can actually plan before we put all the contents into Untitled. I would suggest that perhaps we can prepare some sort of teaching plan, which I think we have used this a lot during face-to-face, but now with the online, perhaps we can sort of look at the teaching plan again and sort of reflect which of the activities and how we can actually have the same activities, the same meaningful activities online. So let me give you an example of what I have last semester. I actually have, let me just give you the first 4 weeks of the semester. So as you can see in here, I have 2, which I think all of us do, right? So we have 2 classes every week. So how I strategize is that the first day of every week, I will have synchronous sessions. And then the second day of the week or the sessions, I will have the asynchronous sessions. So in the synchronous sessions, I will share the slides after the session, not before, because I want to make sure. So the first class, basically, I set the class rules and whatnot, and then just to discuss what are the issues that they are, what are the apprehensions, what are the things that they are expecting to get from the course. So it's basically more to like some like ta'aruf day, course-based ta'aruf. And then on the second day of the first week, then only I try to introduce the topics. And then this is the discussion, this is the new topic. So that's how I arranged it. So basically the discussions of this is in the following week. Okay, so that's how I structured it, as well as what are the assessment that I've prepared for that particular topic. So the students sort of have some ideas on which weeks that they have to be prepared, they have to work on certain things. But if you have a look here, some video lectures I already have knowledge check in using the HYP, maybe just 2-3 questions just to make sure they actually watch the video properly and that they actually understand the concept. And most of the videos that I have, I chunked it into 5 minutes. I rarely have any videos that is half an hour long. I think not half an hour long is just too long. So the longest I think is 10 minutes, and that's 10 to 15 minutes, and that's hands-on videos where they have to really follow the videos on clicking this, dragging the data there, how to analyze the data, and those are the longest videos that I have. But most of it's concept-based, and I put a few questions is about 5 minutes is the longest. Okay, so once you have prepared the plan, maybe we can implement. Then we can proceed with the implementations. With that, it will be a lot easier for you to monitor how many activities you have to prepare in a week, because if we have too much content, then the students might feel that the course is very taxing, and then they tend to leave it later, and that's when the work becomes back up, and eventually they do things last minute and they couldn't perform. So I think this is one of the way to strategize to avoid that from happening. Okay, so just in case this is your first time, so this is our login page. Please have a look on CPD websites. If you have not logged into iTalim, please have a look on CPD website on how to access the log on what is the username and password that you have to use if you want to log in for the first time. Okay, and then once you have logged in, oops, sorry. Okay, so once you have logged in, you probably usually will have a different display from mine, because I'm a system administrator, so I have a lot of things on my dashboard, but you would have your courses. So we are using the one academic year course repository. So in this case, you would have the first semester as well as the second semester courses listed here. Okay, so let me just show you how I implement my plan just now. So this is my course for last semester, for semester 1. So if you have a look, I structured this exactly the same as how I planned it. So Dr. Azlin and Prof. And Dr. Faham have a different approach. They arrange based on topics, and inside here, they arrange the content. In my case, because I'm a little bit control freak, probably, I put the date specifically on which date I'm going to cover this. So in this case, class activities on Tuesday, I have a synchronizations. I put the slides here. In some days, I actually put the recordings here. And then on the Thursday, I have the video lectures. So when it has assessment, the students also knows. So for example, this is actually an external platform. Okay, so the students knows that they have these activities, and then they have assessment. So in this case, it is a lot easier for me to ensure that I actually have mapped my content according to my plan as what I have earlier, as what I have here. Okay, so we can start from there. Let me just share with you what you would have in the when you first open the course and it is empty. Okay, so if this is your first time using iTalim, let me show you a few things that is important in this course page. The first one, please get yourself familiar with the course settings. Okay, so if you go to the settings, the wheel just now, and then the first button is the course setting. Inside this course settings, there will be the course start date, okay, and there will be the course visibility. Last semester, we have a few lecturers panic saying that my course, a lot of students say they cannot view my quizzes. And I put my quizzes. I'm very sure I put my quizzes yesterday, and even me, I can see it. But my students say they can't. So apparently the lecturers actually put the quiz in the main course, because we have main course, we have section course. The main course, sometimes we actually set it as hidden, okay, as hide. That's the default, if I'm mistaken. And then the section course is the one that is visible. So if you put the content in the main course, but the status of the course is hide, then obviously the students will not be able to see the content, because what the students can see is the section-based course. So make sure you have set all the courses that you would want to share with the students as shown. Okay, and then if you want to put the pictures and whatnot, you can customize it. I'm very visual, so usually I will put pictures and some other details. Okay, and in here you are actually allowed to modify this. So whatever you change here, don't worry, it will not affect any other courses. It's just for your course. So you are more than welcome to change anything here. So say I want to have a weekly format or topics format, feel free, it's okay. And then you can customize the look and feel, because this is basically your course page. This is yours. Okay, so you are more than welcome to do anything you feel necessary to the course. Okay, so once you have changed that, if you would want to customize the page now, okay, you can turn the editing on. So this is something that, again, that you need to make yourself familiar with. Turn the editing on, okay. And then when you turn the editing on, you would be able to see this, the add an activity or resource. This is basically all the things that you can use extensively, but please don't overuse. Let's go back to our plan, in teaching plan. So let's have a look, what are the things that is necessary for the first week. Say in the first week, I would want to have the lecture notes, as well as I would want to have a forum. So you can have a forum for the first week, and then click add. Okay, and then you can just basically add okay, and then you can modify here. Okay, so do you want to have a standard forum, or do you want to have a Q&A forum? Okay, you can modify that. Okay, so let me just you are more than welcome to explore what are the kind of forums that would be suitable for your class. The availability can be set, and then if you have this in the first week, suddenly you change your mind, no, it shouldn't be in the first week, it should be in the second week, you can just move that. Okay, so that's how easy it is to actually arrange the content in iTalim. Okay, so what about if I want to add more topics? So at the moment, if I'm mistaken, the default for Untitled C course is the general sections and no topics. So if you would want to add topics, you have plus symbol here. I'm not sure whether you can see it. There's an add topics down here. Click on the add topics. Okay, and how many topics you would want to add to the course page? Say I want to add 2 add topics. Okay, so now you can change. You can modify anything here. You can change with the title of the week. So say this week I'm going to talk about blended learning. Okay, click enter. So that's become the title of the topic. I can add resources. Okay, I can add H5P if this is your first time using Untitled. Maybe let's just wait a little bit. We're going to have this interactive content as one of our training sometimes in second week of the semester, inshallah. Okay, but you're more than welcome to try. Okay, feel free to experiment, and I think it's a good idea. It's good time to actually experiment it in the first week, so you can sort of get a feel whether this is the kind of activities that you would want to have in the course. And okay, so if you would want to have quizzes, I think this is what are the most commonly used from the statistic. I actually observed the most commonly used during the semester is quiz and then assignment. Okay, so if you would want to have the assignment, okay, so let me just add one assignment. If you would want to have an assignment, I'm not sure whether you noticed that now in the new Untitled, we have increased the maximum submission file size. It used to be 10 megabyte in the old Untitled, which I'm very sure that's one of the few reasons why lecturers opted for a different platform. But now we have increased to 100 megabyte per submissions. So I hope that would actually help your students to submit files. And we also have implemented the accepted file types. So which in this case, if you would want to make sure that only PDF file is accepted, then you can modify. Then you can modify the accepted files here. So in this document, expand. Okay. Oops. Not sure why it doesn't take. Okay, it should expand, and then I think there's something wrong with the browser. But if you click, I'm very sure it should expand, and then you can just take the PDF. I'm using Chrome now, so yeah, I will try with different browser. But if you have any issues, feel free to let me know. Okay, it should show what are the file, and then you just tick on the file that you would want the students to upload. If you click on the document files here, then it allows basically all the file types here. It allows doc, docx, PDF, which is sometimes it is quite troublesome to do the grading because different file types requires different software to open the files. So if you would want to have only PDF, expand and then tick on the PDF only. Make sure you don't tick this one. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's, and if you let me also direct you to a few resources that we have compiled in CPD. We have prepared quite a number of resources on activities in Untitled. So if you go to the CPD website, okay, and if you go to Elearning unit tab, and then click on the e-learning training video. So we have compiled a lot of videos here, including on the assessment. Okay, so if you have a look here, Untitled training workshops activity for peer assessment. I've conducted a training here, and then I've also provided the slides here. You are more than welcome to go through it. The recording is there as well. Or if you would want to have a look at Untitled videos, this is actually based on the old Untitled, but because of it is still based on the same system, we're actually using Moodle, okay, which we have customized into IIUM iTaklim. So there's a lot of customizations have already put in place, but the basic is the same, which is Moodle. So whatever resources that you have here are still relevant to be used. Okay. I think that will be all for introductions to iTaklim, but feel free to ask questions just in case I missed anything. Feel free to unmute your microphone.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Mira.
Waalaikumsalam.
A question in the chat room because previously the iTaklim using the email and then password. Why currently when I log in using the same password and email, it cannot log in?
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you, Madam Shahida. So we actually have announced this. I'm not sure whether. There is, okay, it's actually in the main page of CPD. Okay, so we have announced this in IUM announcement that now the fact that iTaklim is in the cloud, so we don't actually use CAS for login. So for login, we for username and password, if this is your first time, there is one infographics here that I've prepared on, this is on for staff. Okay, so if you go to CPD websites and then just scroll down a little bit, there is one infographics on new login method to iTaklim for IUM staff. So this is the first, if this is your first time, log into iTaklim C, visit the iTaklim C, and then enter the username, which is the same username as your email address, but for the password, it is a combination of, okay, so I hope I can, oops. It is a combination of your staff number and date of birth. So if the staff number is 999 and date of birth is 31st of December 81, so it is M81 1231 and then 9999. Okay, so this is how we arrange the first password, the temporary password.
So this link will be available in the CPD website, is it?
Yeah, the infographic, yes, is available in the CPD website. It has been available since September last year, actually, yes.
I need to go to the link to create password because when I enter to the iTaklim C, it's already mentioning username and password. For the first thing, the new login method too. I go. Is it CPD website? Because when I enter for the iTaklim C page, it doesn't appear the new login for those who new into the system.
Oh no. So what you need to do? Okay, maybe I should log out first. Okay, so when you are in iTaklim C page, if you go to login. Okay, and the username is the same username as your email address, as your email, IUM email. My email is Mira@IUM, so just put Mira, and then my password. If this is my first time, I'm logging in to iTaklim. So if my date of birth is yeah. I hope I'm sharing the whole screen. Okay, so if my date of birth is, say, 31st January, okay, then my password, my temporary password will be M210131, and then if my staff ID is 9999, then that's how the temporary password is. This is the temporary password, but once you manage to get in, then you will have to change the password. It's just for the first login. Yep.
Okay, understand. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Okay, welcome. Any other questions?
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Mira.
Salam.
Is there any plan to install Google Meet in iTaklim? Because I saw Zoom is already installed in it. So So is there any plan?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Izzuddin. Zoom, actually, we have that a while ago, which I think now we are thinking to remove it because we've received the feedback from ITD that the Zoom account is limited. So IUM doesn't subscribe to Zoom for teaching. It's just mainly for meeting. So we are thinking to remove it actually. But we do have plug-in for Teams, Microsoft Teams, which I have also shared the videos. If it's not here in CPD website, I will ask Izzat later on to include the videos here. I circulated to DDAS and to e-learning coordinators for each kuliah, actually, all those videos about how to use the Teams, how to use the Edpuzzle in iTalim, okay? Yeah, but for Google, okay, so for Google Meet, the problem is it has to use the Google authentications, which at the moment authentications is actually using the live. So we are still trying to find a method in which we still can use the plugin, but the authentications is using the Microsoft, because now Microsoft, we actually park the system in Azure, which is in Microsoft cloud storage, cloud platform. So I'll take into account, Dr. Izzuddin, and thank you for the feedback. Inshallah, once we're able to have it installed, we will inform the community, inshallah. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, so feel free to have to put in more questions if you have. Okay, but since that now we already have Dr. Hamzah with us, let's proceed to the next agenda, which is on sharing sessions on how Dr. Hamzah take care of, manage the contents in iTalim for teaching and learning. Is Dr. Hamzah around? Okay, yeah. Okay, so Dr. Hamzah,
I'm here.
Right, thank you. So I'm going to set you as a co-host so you can share the screen. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, so I think you are the co-host now. You should be able to share the screen. So just to introduce Dr. Hamzah, a few days ago, I requested the kuliah to nominate our colleagues from Kuantan, because all the sharing session has been from Gombak. I don't think it's fair that the teaching and learning and the use of iTalim is not only limited to Gombak. I'm very honored to see a lot of lecturers in Kuantan actually have been using iTalim extensively. So a few colleagues mentioned Dr. Hamzah as one of the sifu in in iTalim in Kuantan, a person that people refer to. So I'm very glad and I'm very thankful that Dr. Hamzah is with us and willing to spend your time to share your portfolio with us. And I'm very sure it will inspire others to embark on effective teaching in iTalim. Okay, Dr. Hamzah, the session is yours. Thank you.
All right, yeah, inshallah. Thank you very much, Assistant Professor Mira. All right, actually, just like a sharing session, and it will be very casual then. Okay, I just want to say that from the beginning of my career as an assistant lecturer in IUM, I already started to use the iTalim, and then they introduced the requirement of the blended learning. Okay, since then I start to use the iTalim extensively, and what we call it as a teaching management system. Okay, because during that time iTalim is just like a repository. Okay, I started it as a repository, but then when I start to learn about the functions available in iTalim, I can say that okay, now we are ready for some of the MOOC and also kind of flipped classroom. Okay, so with that, I'm actually started to use that, and then now the COVID comes in, then we have been forced to use the online platform. Okay, so okay, let me share my screen over here. All right, hope you can see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So the basic things that we need to keep in mind when we want to start the use of any whatever platform that we want to use. Okay. And the example over here is the iTaklim, is for you to plan yourself. Okay. Because even Dr. Mira mentioned just now, okay, you have to come with the plan first. Okay. You have to plan and then you manage and you execute your plan. So in my slide over here, just like, okay, just plan your work and work your plan. This is very important because if you didn't know what you want to deliver using the platform, the iTaklim, then it would be a big problem. Okay, because you didn't know where to go about uh, in this platform, because we have a lot of options. There are many options, many activities can be done through iTaklim. Okay, so it's just a matter of you have to plan whatever the things that you want to deliver to the students, and also what do you want to assess from the students, okay, using this e-learning system, okay, the iTaklim, so that you can actually get the maximum, okay, the optimal outcome from your learning session, the e-learning session. Okay, just an example. This is what I did. Okay, at the beginning of the semester, I always come up with this kind of planning. This document is prepared myself. Okay, so it's not from the kuliah, it's not from any uh, uh, department in IUM, but this is my self initiative. So I put, okay, what I want to do. Okay, and even starting last semester, okay, I start to have the mode of teaching. Okay, because this is very important, because when you want to put the things in your iTaklim, you must identify whether you want to make it synchronous, asynchronous, and then how you're going to assess them, okay, how you're going to prepare the rubrics, things like that. You must keep in place. Okay, so this over here is just like a teaching plan that I have, and my student will receive this as well, so that they know exactly, okay, the date when they have to prepare themselves. Okay, so this is for coming semester. Okay, I already planned this. And if you can see that, okay, we plan for the RTL during the first few weeks, because that is the estimation for the before the student can get into the campus. Okay, and then we most probably have a face-to-face or hybrid modes later on. Okay, but it depends on the pandemic conditions. All right, so basically everything's here. I'm normally didn't give them the course outline. All right, I just give this the knockdown course outline, because what they need to know is the topic and also the content. Okay. All right. So now, when we talk about the iTaklim as a platform for e-learning, this is from my experience. Okay, I've been using this iTaklim for giving lecture notes, okay, disseminate information, having online quiz, synchronous quiz, asynchronous discussion, forum, and quiz, and as well as the final exam. Okay, so we did the online final exam using the iTaklim as well. Okay, but we tweaked a little bit on the assignment part, because you can have Microsoft Words with the form function or restrict editing functions, which the students can only uh, write their answer in the designated area. So they can't actually change anything on the other parts of the document. All right. So when we talk about this iTaklim, okay, let me show you. This is the dashboard of my iTaklim. Okay, and I've been using this for quite a while, but for iTaklim C, it just started, I think, last semester. Okay, so the courses available here is from previous semester. And I would like to share with you, okay, this is from my past experience in immunology. Okay, if you can see that, I have the panel on the right showing, okay, this is the requirement of the blended learning. And this is the main content block, okay. So yeah, at the moment, we can see that the end of semester examination section at the first part of this page, okay, because that is the things that we highlighted the last during previous semester, okay, because we don't want that the other things distracting students, okay. So the final exam section will be on the top, okay. All right. Yes. Midterm examinations conducted online as well. Okay. This is the important parts when you want to setting up your Untitled for your students. Okay. You must have the sections, and you must name the sections accordingly so that your students can easily browsing through the platform to get informations, okay, so they don't really write query too much, okay. Let me check the chat. Is there any question there? All right, okay, no question. All right, okay, now we do have this assignment related section, assessment, separately, okay. I know that you can arrange by yourself, but this is how I arrange my Untitled. And we do have the topics, okay, per section, okay, one topic per section. That's mean 1 week per section, because we can deposit everything regarding that topic under one section. This is what we call it as section, okay. So in terms of the materials that you can deposit in, you can have like a, okay, the file itself, the PowerPoint or PDF that you want to share with your students, and you can have the quiz. Even I can share if you have the top discussion, okay, discussion where you can actually have a forum like functions in there. Yep. Okay. Since when I have this kind of synchronous session with my students, and I found out that few of my students can't have the good access to the internet. Okay, because last year we had this flood in near Kuantan, right? Okay, Kuantan and some part of the Pahang state. So what I did is I upload the recordings from my Google Meet session so that they can actually follow the class asynchronously. But to give more content to the students, then I open up this chat session. Okay, so that when they watching through the records of the Google Meet, they can have a question. Okay, it's just like two-way session, but it's a postponed two-way session. Okay, and I think that the rest of the things is much more normal things that you did in your Untitled. But I would like to share over here. I prepared few modules, step-by-step guide using Untitled for you to set the MCQ, okay, your question bank, things like that. Okay, so I just want to share over here. Okay, this is the page. Okay, that I have. It's like catalog. Okay, so we have over here to setting up the MCQ in icon and GIF format. For example, in science-based, sometimes we do have like a multiple choice question, and you have like a multiple answer. Okay, so you can use GIF format when you want to prepare the question bank. Okay, the icon format is just if you have a single choice question, just like you just choose either A, B, C, D. Okay, and even in iTaklim, you can set for the true and false type of questions. Okay, so there are many modules available in our iTaklim. I think CPD has done a great job in installing all those modules, and yeah, you can explore yourself. Okay, but over here we do have like for example, I would like to share, this is what I shared to Kuantan campus. Okay, some of the lecturers, okay, who very new with this iTaklim system. Okay, for them to set up the questions in iTaklim. Okay, so over here, okay, you can see this. Okay, how to set up the MCQ in iTaklim. Okay, this is like a this is using the new interface, and this was prepared in January 2021. While most of the lecturers are busy and panicking themselves, how to prepare the final exam. Okay, so under the help of Dr. Latif, okay, the Deputy Dean Academic of Kuliah of Science, okay, we came up with this kind of step-by-step. I can say it's a flip book. Okay. All right. So this is like very basic things. Okay, you get to your iTaklim, you get to your dashboard, and then you have to turn the editing on before you can add the section. Okay, and then yeah, so basically if you I will share the link, okay, to you in the chat room. Okay, so you can browse through, and if it helps, then yeah, please, you can use that. Okay, this is the example that we use when we want to help lecturers. Okay, it can be young lecturers. Actually, young lecturers is easy because they are familiar with the gadgets, with the computer. But the most seniors, okay, so that's why I came up with this kind of with the image step by step, so it's easily to be followed, okay, by the most seniors staff who are actually not familiar with iTaklim. All right, so I think yeah, now we can open for Q&A, because I'm not really an expert in iTaklim, because actually I'm just using iTaklim, and yeah, I just share my experience with those who have questions, and most of the time, some question I can't really answer that because I'm not the expert in the area. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all from me, Dr. Mira.
Thank you, Dr. Hamzah. We are learning from each other, so alhamdulillah. Kuliah of Science is one of the kuliah that are very dear to me, because Dr. Latif is very, especially since the first time I'm in CPD, Dr. Latif has been giving me a lot of feedback, a lot of input, and then I'm really happy basically to as much as there are challenges to take care of iTaklim, but I'm very thankful that I have a lot of friends when I joined CPD. So I would like to say thank you so much to all of the colleagues. Kuliah of Science, especially during the assessment, is just wonderful. You keep giving the update on almost on daily basis. It's just amazing. So Jazakumullah khair, I couldn't thank you enough. But before I open the question and answer to the audience, I have one question that I want to know, because I think this is something that I also need to pass to other lecturers as well. How effective the forum in your course page, in your course? Is students really make use of the forum?
Okay, actually, last semester we did a forum and we just give the we just give the link for Google, okay, Google Forum. But in previous format of iTaklim, okay, we do have like a thread style, okay, and they have to complete the story, okay, which one student will give one words, and that words is represent the scientific meaning of that topic. And Alhamdulillah, I can say that 100% of my students taking part in that discussion, because that discussion will lead us to the flip classroom system. Okay, flip classroom means, okay, we have the topic and we give them times to learn, and then during the class session, okay, we will go through that forum, and we will start to have like a short discussion, okay, on the keywords that comes the most. So that's mean most of the students don't really understand those keywords. Okay, so I know exactly, okay, which part of my teaching need to be emphasis more. Okay, so yeah, in terms of forum, Alhamdulillah, yeah, it works well if you really plan how you're going to use the forum. Okay, if you just like simply put the forum and leave it there, the students, okay, yeah, there's no motivation for the student to get into the forum. Yeah, for you to motivate them, yes, I'm using the forum, and sometimes we just like use the wheel of names. Okay, you know, like a wheel of fortune. Okay, we have the names there, and then we use that tools to pick up the name of the student, because this is like an interactive class. I don't like single way of class. I need the input from the students, and the student will get some from me as well. Okay, the active participation in the class is very important. That's why even with this e-learning, I'm still continue using the discussion and also forum and also chat, but somehow we move it to the use of Google Forum. Okay, because with that I can get the notification. Maybe I need to learn more. How can I get the notification using this iTaklim discussion and forum? Yeah.
Inshallah,
I
that's
think,
something.
yeah, that's how I worked with the discussion and forum, Dr. Mira.
Right, thank you. Inshallah, I'll take into account, I'll take note of the notifications. At the moment, we are trying to put notifications to email, but we realize there are some limitations on how much email can IUM Google broadcast to everyone's account. So I would suggest in the meantime, if there's not notifications to email, perhaps you can use, if you're using the mobile Moodle, you can activate the notifications in the Moodle mobile, because our iTaklim is based on Moodle, right? So if you are using the Moodle mobile, like what, I'm not sure whether it is visible. I'm using the Moodle mobile. Oops, just realized it doesn't show. Okay, so if you're using the Moodle mobile, it actually sends notifications. So every time my students enter questions or post questions in the forum or things like that, it will give you the pop-ups. Yeah, so the notification. So that's one of the way that we can have.
All right, yeah, thank you very much. I just realized that, yeah, because I'm also using this Moodle mobile, okay, over here, and I just found that, okay, I disable the notification, live notification.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I can return back to Untitled for the discussion.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Thank you. All right, inshallah. Okay, so any questions from the participants? Okay, feel free to unmute your microphone. Okay, so while waiting for the questions, probably our colleagues are still experimenting with Untitled. Oh, there was one question from Madam Shahida on how we set the quiz, right? Okay. With Untitled, when it comes to quiz, I'm very sure Dr. Hamzah have the same experience as me, right? We usually prepare the questions first, and then, or if you would want to if you want to set the questions directly when you prepare the quiz, you can. Let me. Is it okay, Dr. Hamzah, if I demonstrate a little bit on how to prepare the quiz?
Yeah, sure, Dr. Mira. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so if I can just share a bit on the quiz. Okay, so if you go to the course page, okay, and then you go to enable, so the must things to do, exactly like what Dr. Hamzah mentioned just now, when you are preparing the MCQ, you turn on the editing, you activate the editing, turn on the editing mode, and then you pick on the activities and pick on the quiz. Dr. Hamzah give a very good step-by-step process on how to add the questions, especially if it's MCQ. Basically, once you already have set up the quiz, you can add the questions. So we prepare the content, the container first, which is the assessment, and then we add the questions later. So we have this, for example, this is sample questions, sample quiz, and then you set when you want to set it available. Okay, the availability, when the quiz should start, when the quiz should end, how much time should the students have, how many, and then how many attempts can they have. So Dr. Hamzah have prepared a very good references there, and also we have, if you prefer the videos, we have the video in CPD website. So we have different kind of resources to cater your needs. Okay, so I hope that helps. But what is important when it comes to quiz, I notice most of the questions now, rather than on preparing quiz, is on how to know what are the answers that my students registered, and then how can I analyze the response. I get that questions quite frequently at the end of the semester, and probably this is something that we overlook. We haven't really get into details as how you can actually analyze or retrieve the questions that the students have actually answered in your assessment. So if you go to your course, and you go to the assessment or to the quiz that you have, I think I do have one of the quiz here. Okay, there you go. I have a quiz here. Let me pick the one with MCQ. Okay, so say this is the quiz. Okay, as you can see, I have a lot of activities, but actually some of them will be able to be completed within 15 minutes. So if the students have 1 hour and they're really good, they really go through the activities as prescribed, usually they spend less than an hour for completing all of the activities. Okay, so what I want to highlight, if you really want to know the exact response, okay, because if you click on the attempt, what you will get is just the score, right? It's just this. This is right, this is wrong, but it doesn't really tell you what is the answer actually, and you really have to click one by one. It's very troublesome. So what you would want to go instead of that, you can click on the assessment itself and then click on the settings, click on the responses. Okay, so this is the actual response that the students registered during the quiz. So if you have a look here, why is it wrong? Because they picked this answer, which is, this is not the right answer. So if you would want to analyze how many wrong questions, you can download into Microsoft Excel, and then you can have a look in which questions most of the students are actually having difficulties. So that's one of the way to sort of make use of the data that we have. So this is another thing why the in-house platform is very beneficial. On top of that, you can actually make use of the reports. And this is what I would want to encourage everyone to go beyond just using it as a repository, is to actually have your own learning analytics inside the course. If you would want to have it for CQI, for example, or continuous quality improvement, you can have a look. There's so many reports that is generated in a course. So if you have a look on the reports, you can look at the live logs. I analyze this. When are my students actually accessing the quizzes? Is it if I have 24 hours open, but they only have 10 minutes? So when usually they actually work on that quiz, I can analyze that from the logs. I download the logs, and then I look at the pattern of the time. So then I know, so certain students, especially when they are the students that currently overseas, they actually access during morning time, their time. Okay, so then I have to sort of anticipate that there will be quizzes that will be submitted in odd hours and things like that. Okay, so this is some of the things that I really hope using the home platform is a lot more meaningful. Another thing that I would want to encourage is to customize the look and feel of your iTalim, so that, because most of our students are very visual, especially the Gen Z, which is they prefer pages and things like that. So for next semester, and this is what I have been doing in every semester. Usually I modify the banner of the course. So feel free to make it as interesting. If you enjoy looking at your course page, I'm very sure your students will also enjoy learning from visiting your course page as well. And in iTalim, you can actually embed medias, which I'm very sure many of us have been doing it. So this is an example of how I embed content. So this is the welcome message to my course. Okay, I'm not sure whether. Okay, let me. Is the music? Can you hear the music? Let me just. International collaborations with one college in US. There are 5 lecturers that have been selected for international collaborations with US and Bosnia. So it so happened that my teaching partner for next semester is from US. So I would want to have that. Okay. How about now? Can you hear me?
Thank you, Dr.
Okay.
Mira, for the
All right. Sorry. I didn't realize you can hear the music because I cannot hear the music. Okay. Yeah. So because with Google Classroom, we can arrange, we can link that to external platform, but we cannot really embed content. So I found it this is something, one of the strengths on top of some other resources that we have, some of the justifications that we have just now with the iTalim. We can also embed contents with iTalim. So in this case, if you have Edpuzzle account, okay, so if you have Edpuzzle account, we have made that available. If you are comfortable using H5P, we have add that to iTalim now. So in this case, there will be less need for us to actually use multiple platform, because one of the feedback from the students is that when they have to use X platform for this course, another platform for another course, they have to juggle like different login and password, and it may be challenging. So I know we would want to have something that is comfortable for us for teaching and learning, but if we can have sort of a way to actually, again, have a look at what the in-house platform can do, as much as it is not perfect, it is far from perfect, but at least this is our home, which we can improve, and we can actually make sure we have a much better use of the data and activities that of what the students actually do in this platform. Okay, so yeah, so that's basically how a few more tips from, in addition to what Dr. Hamzah shared just now from his portfolio. Okay, any questions? Feel free to unmute your microphone, please.
Assalamualaikum, Doctor.
Salam.
I just leave my message just now. My question is, my course is where we give assessment. The assessment is made to have different variables to the student. So despite that we have the same question for everyone, most probably the student will have different answers. So at the moment, so what we did is to check the validity of the system as well, and to check whether the student has put in the correct answers lah. So what we did is we manually click at every student which have wrong answers to go and look at what they put in numerically. So my question is it possible that iTalim can have us downloaded the student's answer, not the 1 or 2 marks, not marks, the answer itself provided by the student? Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, so this is what I have showed just now, Dr. Naim, yeah? That if you would want to know the exact answer, and if you would want to analyze the exact answer, it so happened in my example just now, I only have one attempt, but if it's multiple attempt, then you can sort of choose which one, which parameters do you want to have the highest mark or the average mark. But despite that, it will also shows the first attempt, the second attempt, and so on. Let me show which one is. So if you would want to have the exact answer that the students registered, okay, you click on the quiz, and then you click on these settings, okay, the settings on the right hand side, okay, and then click on response. So this is the exact answer. This is not the mark. This is the exact answer that the students key in during the assessment. Okay, so we know, so for the first questions, this is, he answered. Okay, so I should hide. Okay, and later on when I upload to YouTube, then I will hide the student's detail. But as you can see in here, the first question was right, the second question was wrong, the third question was right. So he lost the points in the second one. Why? Because this is the answer that he put So yes, we can download the answer that the students registers. This is not whether this is correct or wrong only, but what is the questions that the students key in. Is it what is it what you are looking for, Dr. Naim?
Not yet, but yeah, I am up to that point, but I like it to be downloaded into one document that wrap up everything, whatever
Okay.
answers provided by the student, almost like Google form ke, whatever. So
Okay.
we find answer provided by the students. Thank you.
Okay, so if you click on this, I'm not sure whether you can see the download table data as. You click on Excel, click on download. Okay, so it will download the file. And then if you click on the file, okay, I should share the screen. Okay, if you click on the file, so this is the exact answer that my students pick. Okay, so if it's essay, if it's numbers, then it will be the numbers that they entered. Okay, so this is how the data is tabulated. Okay. All right, so I hope that answered the questions. Okay, so Dr. Hamzah have shared the resources. Okay, Jazakumullah khair. Dr. Naim, feel free to unmute, yeah, if it's not the kind of answer you're looking for. Okay, then some of the questions is on experimental based course. Wow. Okay, so I think that would be much relevant to Dr. Hamzah. How do you cater the experimental based course, Dr. Hamzah?
Okay, for the experimental based course, actually, for previous semester, we had it the students to first we tweak the experiment, okay, so that they can do the experiment similar to that at home, so not at in the lab. Okay, so what they need to do is to submit the video, okay, and from the video it just show that okay they know the steps, okay, how they follow the steps given to them when they want to do the experiment. That's one thing. The second thing is data analysis. Okay, data analysis is just like a similar lab report, okay, but you can make it like assignment based, okay, assignment based, so that the student will get a set of data. So that's mean each student will get a different set of data and they can analyze the data accordingly, so that it just to train the students, okay, first to conduct the experiment, okay, that's mean to follow the instructions, okay, the protocol, experiment protocol. Second is to show the competency in data analysis, okay. They may have the data observations if or experimental observation if the experiment can be done at home. But in my course, okay, because we don't have like anything similar to antigens, antibody at home, which we can do some kind of analogy, but yeah, so for us we give them like a report from the hospital, okay, the case study, okay, that is the reason why we do have like a problem based, okay, problem based learning, okay, where we do have like a case, okay, and a case study, and from the case study we develop the problem based, okay. So it just like that's why when we have this kind of course, okay, which have the experiment, okay, we need to plan, okay, how we convert the lab experiment, okay, which students can do at home, okay, but at the same time they can learn the basic principle of that experiment, and then they know how, okay, what kind of data that they will get from the experiment and how to analyze the data. That is very important, okay. So we we can actually achieve the objective, the learning objective of that course by using that methods. You can actually try to get example, okay, from how this content in the YouTube, right? Okay, content in the YouTube, how they actually make science, okay, experiment doable at home. Okay, we just need to tweak some of the materials, some of the concept, okay, but we still deliver, okay, the course content and also the intended learning outcome, okay, for that course. Yeah, I think that is much more important, and because the student will get back to the what we call it, to the campus, okay, for their FYP. So during that time, inshallah, we can actually compensate back, okay, the hard skills that they need to gain during the course. All right. So yeah, I think that is the only things that I can suggest from now, because we don't know exactly when we can actually can have to the situation saying that even the student at home can learn about 100% skill, the hard skill in the lab. Okay, so yeah, thank you. I think that is from me. Maybe Dr. Mira, you can add if you have any kind of experience on that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Hamzah. I can very much, I can empathize with our colleagues. I mean, our students, our colleagues, that is a lab-based kind of courses that you really have to come to the lab and then really have to experiment with hands-on experiments. As much as we are trying to facilitate, I know there are some weaknesses here and there that we cannot get the perfect virtual environment. But inshallah, if there's any way for ICPD to facilitate, please let us know. In the meantime, I think as the educators in digital educators is that we can actually exercise our 3C. Create. If we don't have any contents that would be suitable, we can record our own content. We can create the content. Or if you feel that there are a lot of resources available online, you can curate. So whether create, curate, but the most important thing as digital educators is we have to connect back to what Dr. Hamzah mentioned, connect back to the learning outcome, connect back to our teaching plan. Because no matter how many resources that is available online, our students need guidance to pick which one is the most appropriate resources that us as an educator would recommend to them. So to leave them autopilot and ask them to just find online, I think that what has been challenging for the students to first to absorb the content, and that they also have to search for the content online. So I think we can exercise on that 3. Create, if you don't have anything useful on the internet. Curate, if there's something that is useful and relevant to your course. And the most important thing, connect. Okay, so connect those things back to your teaching, to learning outcome. Okay, thank you, Dr. Hamzah. There's another questions here on on the back of the superscript. Okay, I think there's a few feedback. I received quite similar feedback from other lecturers on the superscript and subscript on the questions. We have tried to rectify this in iTalim, but we noticed certain browser, especially if you are using the tiny HTML editor, you experience this. So please have a look if you can try with different editors, because we have 2 editors implemented in HTML, because the combinations of HTML editors and then the browsers can actually cause this. And if it's still an issue, please let me know, see whether there's some more things that we have to fix in Untitled. On the second questions, are the students unable to see the figure and pictures if you copy paste into the text editor? Yes, I think this is very much related to the first questions. In some cases, that is because when you copy paste and then you leave the figure without descriptions. We have, because Moodle 3.8, the one that we're actually using, the Moodle 3. something is actually implemented with requirements for inclusivity. So for any images, you have to put the descriptions. Okay, so that is what makes that image valid to be stored as part of the text. So please have a look again, see whether you missed that descriptions of the image. If yes, then that's one of the issues why it is not shown. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so if you have tried, okay, so I think Brother Muhammad, if you don't mind, please email me and then I will have a look on the issues related to your editors in Untitled, inshallah. Okay. Any other questions? No. Okay. So if there's no questions, thank you so much. All participants, professors, doctors, brothers and sisters. Thank you so much, Dr. Hamzah. Barakallahu fikum wa ahlikum, inshallah. Jum'ah Mubarakah. May Allah bless you and family. May Allah bless all of us. May Allah give us the barakah of passing our knowledge to the next generations. This is not an easy job, but it is a very meaningful job. It is not job, it is a very meaningful undertakings beyond job. Because we will leave the legacy, which is our knowledge, inshallah, which will last till the end of the day, inshallah, till the end of the time, inshallah. Barakallahu fikum again. Thank you so much. Jazakumullah khair. And if there's no questions, if you have any questions, feel free to email me directly to mira@iium.edu.my. And inshallah, we will have more Dr. Hamzah later. And inshallah, I will take Dr. Hamzah as one of the team. So we are preparing this MOOC actually for IIUM Untitled certification, which we will give, which we will make into 3 levels, but we will launch the first level first. Untitled Educator Certifications Level 1 soon, inshallah. So if you're having difficulties to join all of these sessions, we will compile and then we will have the kind of assessment, and then by the end of the program, you will have the certifications. And I'm very sure that would fit nicely to your upper at the end of the year. Okay, so again, couldn't thank you enough. So may everything that we have learned from this course is useful. Please pray for all of us, inshallah. And see you soon in the upcoming CPD training. Let's end the sessions with Tasbih Kafarah and Suratul As. Amin ya Rabbal Alamin. Jazakumullah khair again. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Hamzah. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah.